Alright, anyway, let's go over this build. Let's do it here. Let's go over this build. Alright, so this is a Druid. Druid, in my opinion, is possibly the very hardest class to solo level. However, I'll show you guys my gear, my skills, and you can see how a Druid can actually become very strong using my particular build. The build is Storm Strike, Pulverize. Those are really the keys to the build. And the Storm Strike, I think, is just bar none the best basic attack. And you don't even need any kind of... I do have an aspect that is helping it out a bit, but you don't really need it at all. It's because it actually generates a pretty solid amount of spirit, whereas everything else does not generate as much spirit, and that seems to be the major problem with this character. It's possible once you can get your spirit system online that will not be the case, but it does appear to be the case now. And of course, you also get damage reduction when you use it. So if you're using any kind of melee skill, or you're taking a lot of damage from monsters, which you typically do, yeah, it makes you really tanky. And yeah, it does nice. It chains to multiple enemies. It's very strong. And also stun things and completely immobilize them for a long amount of time. And there's a very solid chance to make the enemies vulnerable as well, which increases your damage to them further. So it's a very strong approach, in my opinion, at least at the moment. You're also going to want 3 points into Abundance, basic skills, just to increase the spirit generation. Normally this doesn't generate 15, so any amount of extra spirit you can generate, though, is pretty huge, I guess, with current state of how it is in the early game for the Druid. And then of course you have Pulverize. Werebear Pulverize. This thing does a crazy amount of damage and it's just strong. Next, Pulverize, so you have Overpower every 10 seconds. You have Pulverize every 10 seconds. You have Pulverize every once in a while. And then if you overpower or pulverize, you just stun enemies, which is cool. So yeah, you get pulverizes all the time. You get overpower, which just does an enormous amount of damage, and crits on top of that can just hit insanely hard. Another thing we're gonna get is just damage reduction. We're gonna get damage reduction. We're gonna get elemental damage reduction, just the base skill. And then we can even slow and knock back enemies, so just more crowd control and safety, which is just very useful in general. We also get Debilitating Roar. So this is kind of like a damage safety approach. It's like a hybrid kind of just you're really tanky and you do a ton of damage. So that's gonna fortify you. It's gonna slow enemies, and it's gonna reduce their damage done for 4 seconds by a lot. Just make life a lot easier. You get all the way up to Savage Trample. You get 20 Spirit, which is pretty cool. And then you can do more damage, so you can just further increase ways to gather spirit, and you can knock back more enemies, and you can do a pretty decent amount of damage with it as well. So really the keys to this build are getting tanky. If you go the fortify routes, there's a lot of ways to get additional fortify. You can actually get tankier. Believe it or not, even the other node, you can get even more damage reductions, so you can become like an ultra tank. And I imagine in parties, something like a werebear tank will definitely be a thing. And heck, you could even get things like enhanced earthen bulwark as well, which is something that I tried. And that will additionally make you tanky. Even the werewolf has ways to heal themselves and get tanky. So does the werebear. It's kind of neat. And then for the ultimate skill, I just went Lacerate. You can also go Grizzly Rage, but you can't use your storm skills while you are in the rage form, so I actually kind of prefer this. And it can also, just like this, make you unstoppable and break out of things and just do a ton of damage. And you can heal yourself too at crit strikes, and The first strike just does a crap ton of damage as well. So that was Supreme Lacerate, so it's just really strong. So it's like offensive, defensive. It's pretty good. Level 12. Someone's asking me what to do with a level 12 druid. Landslide is actually pretty strong. I was going Lightning Storm. I didn't like it because you have to like sit there and channel it. I'm not a big fan of that actually. You can go like Tornado, Landslide, or Pulverize, but Pulverize is good if you use Storm Strike. Just make sure to use Storm Strike and Pulverize and you'll be fine at level 12. And then get Cyclone Armor or Earthen Bulwark because those will also make you tankier as well. Yeah, I did Storm Strike and Landslide actually. Yeah, I did that in the beginning. It was actually very strong. Yeah, that's a good one. You can do that. Alright, anyway. Sweet, so those are the skills. So, gear you're going to be looking at here, nothing too special, but this is giving me even more damage reduction with Cyclone Armor. It's also good for like a team approach as well, so that's kind of neat. This one spreads crowd control for the imprint. It's pretty good there. That imprint, Pulverize, is now an Earth skill, so that's pretty big. The reason why is because there's a lot of other aspects that are like for Earth skills. Like this further increases damage reduction. You use this quite a bit to regenerate Spirit, Storm Strike, so yeah, it's pretty good. Damage from Earth skills slow enemies hit by 45% for 5 seconds. So this further can like increase your damage versus crowd controlled enemies and make them slower. This is like insane. So if I ever crit, I do a ton of damage. So this is a storm skill. So if I cast this or if I cast this, I can make my critical strike damage just crazy for a little bit there. Also on top of that, so if I cast this, which is now an Earth skill, Pulverize, or just whatever, I also get a crazy amount of crit strike chance on Storm Strike as well. So this is actually doing some damage. And this also, once again, deals more damage to crowd-controlled enemies, which, once again, kind of synergizes with all the slow and all the other immobilizes we have. We made our basic skills have more attack speed, so we can generate spirit faster. And then this is just going to do more damage and when our resources are pretty high. So it really kind of pays to go kind of Pulverize, Storm Strike, Pulverize, Storm Strike. And I think there's another aspect too, which can, where there's kind of like a second Pulverize that can do like a portion of your damage, which you can also put as well. So you can do that. I don't have that one, but it's pretty good. So anyway, this is a Pulverize Druid. He's pretty strong. We'll mess around with it a bit though. So as you can see, the Druid, once he gets some items, later in the game is going to be a force of nature.
I must wait a moment.
Even if he's one of the weaker classes. His damage numbers are no joke. You can see we're constantly critting and making everything vulnerable to basic attack. And this is just kind of how it works. I can always use ultimate. Oh, he almost hit me there. Mobilizes everyone too. So his basic attack is insane. See, I can slow everything down by like 1 billion. And then use the ultimate to become untargetable. Become Warwick from League of Legends for a second. Blood Mist is the Sanguine Pool, I think, for Vladimir from League of Legends. I literally stole some League of Legends abilities on this. It's like literally like that. That is literally Warwick right there. It's so funny. Anyone that plays that game will know what I'm talking about. I've seen that before. As you can see, look at that. That was like a 5,000 hit there. You can hit really hard with this, but we're also very tanky. Of all these damage reductions, everything is stolen from Warcraft 3. That's true. You know what? That's 100% true with it. Yeah, Landslide is perfectly fine. That got me through a lot of those early levels.
I'm not ready.
I'm gonna try some other things after this as well, but yeah. I also like this, my favorite stat to have on boots, bar none, is the evade. Evade cooldown is reduced by attacks. It just gives you so much mobility in a fight, and on like any kind of melee character, that one's like really big.
I must wait a moment.
Finish them off with the ult there for fun. Got to use potions, pretty cool. I think the main limitation is that this is a weapon that I got from that level 35 boss, right? And see, like, it really takes a lot of damage. Make this character strong.
I must wait a moment.
Use all his stuff here. I think he put me on the ground there.
I'm not ready.
The reason why I'm doing this dungeon is it's arguably one of the toughest dungeons, if not the toughest one. One of the tougher ones. Just to demo his power here. You can see he probably doesn't even have the shockwave aspect. So crushing everything. It's really cool. This is definitely my favorite druid build. I think this song's really sick. You get to be a werewolf, you get to be a human, and you get to be a werebear all at once. It works.
I'm not ready yet.
But yeah, there's a lot of things it can do though. I also like the mobility from Trample. It's really good. It's like the closest thing the druid has to mobility. It's like a teleport, essentially. It's the closest thing it has. And it knocks everything back. I always need mobility in all my characters. If I can. The Necromancer, maybe not. You can just go into the ground and get fine. But yeah, so you know, someone mentioned the world boss fight, and it's the same thing as Shadow Step on Rogue, right? Shadow Step was huge against the world boss when he went away. It's kind of like how Trample would be too. Same thing. And obviously teleport. On Sorceress, but there we go. With Pulverize too, it's different than how I built mine. You like yours better? What did you do for Pulverize, actually?
I'm not ready yet.
Look at that damage, holy crap. I love overpower.
I do not have enough spirit.
Already 10 seconds, I just get an overpower. What's actually interesting is there's also another node where you can get more overpower if you stay in Grizzly form the whole time. But since Maul doesn't seem very good early game, at least not currently, it's really difficult to actually maintain that. It'd be nice to have more overpower though. Definitely seems like yeah. Okay, you're a Fortify build? Yeah, that makes sense, because... But notice how I do have Fortify, though, Dragon. It's not like I don't. The Fortify is boosting my damage a bit. It's nice. It'd be nice to have more Fortify, though. I do agree. You know, I talked about Fortify, but Fortify would increase Overpower's damage. Because Overpower damage is based on Fortify partially. Right. Yeah, it's giving me a little bit. Oh, you have Trample with Fortify instead of, Bro, I need my Spirit Regen. I need my Spirit Regen. It's so painful. Can't do it. There's a single target there. See, I need my Spirit Regen. Yeah, I need more responsiveness. Anyway, there he is. There is a Pulverize Druid. And yeah, more Fortify can mean more over. There's definitely different ways to build it and approach this build. But once you get a weapon that does enough damage, he's a beast. Alright, GG.